Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Fat Gay Texan. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything. Nothing's off the table, and we don't throw political correctness out the window because we never let it in the house to begin with. So, this episode, we're going to talk about voting in any election, but mainly presidential elections because that's what's on everybody's mind this year. And I'm also going to have a little rant at the end, as we do in every episode. So, what I wanted to talk about on voting, and this is one of those topics, and it's happened in the last several elections, and it's feeling pressured to vote for someone by those around you. So it could be friends, family, coworkers, societal pressures, people. Oh, are you voting for this? And I can't believe you're voting for that. And I just assumed aren't you voting for so and so? Now, in this episode, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. That's not what this show's about because we do like personal freedom and we believe that what makes America great is that everyone gets a chance to voice their opinion, no matter how wrong it can be if you're voting for Kamala. But anyway, sorry, had to throw that in there. But no, we're not here to talk about the two candidates in this election because this goes for every election possible. This is anything local, state, federal, this is every type of election. But it's a really personal choice who you vote for. In fact, I remember not all that many years ago, it just wasn't talked about. It was in bad taste to talk about politics and religion. And voting was almost like a birthday wish. What'd you wish for? Who'd you vote for? Well, if I tell you, it won't come true. We just didn't talk about those things. Now it seems everyone talks about it. And it always seems to be, at least in my experience, the Democrats. Man, they want to talk about it. They want to talk about how great so and so is, and yada yada yada. And it just gets very frustrating because I don't want to talk about it. And then if you tell them that you're not going for their candidate of choice, then they treat you like, I can't believe you. You're nuts. You're crazy. So it's really good to try to avoid those external pressures. Let's get back to hey, let's not talk about religion and politics at work or in mixed social gatherings. If you're going to talk about it, make sure it's among friends or family that shares the same beliefs as you. So it's just all a consequence of groupthink. People just assume they know you, and then they just assume that, oh, you're going to vote a certain way just because you are X, Y, and Z. I get that all the time because I'm gay. You must be voting for so and so. But don't be pressured into that. That is a horrible thing to do. And this is your choice. If your spouse, partner, whatever you want to call them, is voting for someone, that does not mean that you have to vote for them. This is America. Everybody gets a vote. It's not one vote per household. It's one vote per adult that's registered to vote. So vote your way. And I implore you not to be one of those people who just vote straight ticket or anything else. If you do, and that's great, and you're doing that because you like all the candidates, fantastic. But don't be a party voter if you don't like everybody on that ticket. And also, don't be a party voter, period. It is a horrible approach to running this country. Well, I vote this way all the time. Well, the person could be a lunatic, and you're going to vote that way? Well, I always vote so and so. It's not a good thing. But don't be pressured into it. And the best way to not be pressured into it, and societal pressures and all that jazz, is just to try to isolate yourself from it. If it's happening in the workplace, just say, hey, look, stop it. I don't want to talk about politics. This is work. I want to talk about this report that is due in 30 minutes. I don't want to talk about your political views. If it's happening in your household and it's uncomfortable, same thing. Hey, look, we have varying political opinions here. So let's not talk about them as, just not going to work unless you can have healthy, good discussions that you were comfortable with. There's nothing wrong with a good, healthy debate, which is rare to find these days. I mean, I should be able to tell you if you ask why I am voting for so-and-so, and you should be able to tell me why you are voting for your candidate, and we should be able to talk about their differences and their strengths and still have a very reasonable conversation. The other thing, which goes right along with this, is voting for people based on physical attributes. This could have anything to do with race, and I'm not talking about are they pretty or not. This is race and gender, mainly. You get so pressured into the last several elections. There has been someone, it's always been white men. We get it. It's boring. But the last, several elections, we've had our first African American president, and we've had two female candidates now with Kamala. We have two female candidates running for president. Well, we need a woman in the White House. Well, it's about time we finally had an African American in the White House. I don't disagree with these statements at all, but these aren't the right people. Hillary was not the right person. Kamala's not the right person. Has nothing to do with the gender. I don't give a crap what gender you are. If there was a really smart cat that could speak a good sentence and could run the country, I'd vote for the freaking cat. It's not about that. It's about the quality of the mind that is inside of that body. If Kamala Harris was Margaret Thatcher, she'd have my vote. She's not. It's not about race. It's not about gender. I am interviewing you for a job. I need the best candidate possible for the job. You are not the best candidate. But we hear it all the time. And yes, coming from a long, boring history of mostly old white men, which the Democrats hate, so they elected Joe Biden, an old white man. We come from that history. So yes, it is time that we have a shakeup. We've only ever had one shakeup, and that was with Obama. But it has to be the right person. If this was Candace Owens, we could have the, second black president and the first female president ever. But this is not who that is. And you will hear it all the time. Well, you're a racist, or you're sexist, or you just don't believe women can do it. Bullshit. Most of the same people who don't believe Kamala could do it really believed that Margaret Thatcher was freaking awesome. It's the mind in the body. It has nothing to do with what gender you are or what race you are. Most people, 99% of people in this country could give a crap less. They just want lower gas prices and our nation not to be a laughing stock. So don't get caught up in that, because that's the argument people will tell you. Oh, you're this and you're a bigot and you're sexist, and has nothing to do with any of that. You know it. And when people tell me that, because people have, I just say, no, well, why aren't you voting for her? She's an idiot. That's why. I don't need any other explanation. I don't have to explain to you why I vote the way I vote. That's what voting is all about. You're supposed to be able to. That's why it's all secretive when you go to the voting place. You go to your little machine, or, whatever in the hell you're in your state or whatever they do, and you vote. You don't sit there and just yell it out in the middle of a room. No, it's all supposed to be secretive. So no, I don't have to justify to you why I vote a certain way. None of your damn business. And don't try to guilt me in. See, that's the thing. That's the ticket. We've hit the nail on the head. Your candidate sucks so badly that the only way you think you can convince me to vote for your candidate is to call me names and to say you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a bigot. Because your candidate, this is fantastic. My favorite sorry, this just popped in my head. That's how these things work. I have a script. I don't usually read it. But Margaret Thatcher said, when they attack you personally, that means they have not one political argument left. When they attack you personally, that means they have not one political argument left. Meaning that when a jackass comes up to you and says, well, you're not voting for her because of this, that means they don't have one good political argument, because their candidate isn't a person that you could actually have a political argument for. Their candidate is a flawed candidate, a horrible candidate. That is where it all comes from. They don't have anything to back it up on. They don't sit there and say, well, I appreciate your choice, but these are the reasons I'm voting for so-and-so. And then you go, oh, well, I didn't know that. And they say, yeah. No, what they do is they don't have any reasons. They have no clue why they're voting for them, because they're the racist, they're the sexist, and all that is It's defined very simply. You're treating someone a certain way because of their sex or race. That's it. That's what racism and sexism is. Someone is getting differently because of their race or sex. They're the racist. They're the sexist. No. If Kamala was a great candidate, I think most of us moderate, conservative, normal people in America are just like, ugh. You know, it's like when you come home and you want, not going to vote for Kamala. She's a fool. And even if she was smart, let's pretend for a minute that comes stage, literally the leader of the free world, and we have all these enemies out there now. And oh my God, whatever that line is she uses all the time. You know, this is getting way off track. Sorry. You get my point. None of them matter. We are hiring a candidate to do a job, a very important job. And if you screw around and you say, I'm voting for Trump because he's a man, or I'm voting for it is wrong and it is discriminatory. We need two better candidates. We don't have them. These are the candidates we have. We will have to. It's the same reason you don't pick a car based on color alone. Oh, that is my favorite color. That's no. One of the things that gets on my nerves nowadays. Now, I'm from the South. I'm from Texas, and it's always irked me when that's a cup of coffee. I drink coffee black. I don't put anything in it. It is a personal preference. And it all started from years ago when I worked somewhere. And the kitchen, the employee kitchen, was like literally a quarter of a mile away from where we worked. We could have a coffee pot and we could have a jug of water and we could have all those things in there to make coffee, but we couldn't keep the sugar and the sweeteners and all that because ants would invade that part of the automotive shop. Okay. And I finally just got tired of walking down there, so I started drinking coffee black. But it is really funny when you walk into a place that is not Waffle House or, you know, one of a local diner of some kind. You walk into Starbucks or you walk into one of those fancy falutin coffee places, you know, they're all over the place, which is hilarious because Starbucks is not doing as great as it used to be. And everybody's like, oh, look, Starbucks is closing. Now it's time for me to open my coffee shop, which is just freaking Starbucks. So you go in and you say, hey, just like a black cup of coffee, please, because you're so thirsty and tired. Uh-huh. What would you like in that cup of coffee? Coffee. Oh. Then they kind of look around, don't they? Look around at their coworkers. Do we have black coffee? Oh, we do. Yeah. It's the stuff you make before you put the things in it. And they treat you like a nut job. And then let's talk about the people who put 500 gallons of shit in their coffee. The people, it's not just cream and sugar. No, it's caramel. It's whipped cream. It's chocolate. It's cinnamon. It's basically a fucking coffee shake at this point by the time you're done. It is an ice cream shake flavored lightly with coffee. It is such a pale shade of tan, it looks like my legs when I don't ever let them see the sun. Okay? And you spend hundreds of dollars a year on these stupid coffees. They are horrible for you. Coffee, see, well, the coffee's good for you. It has benefits, but that's like putting a piece of celery and using that as your ice cream spoon. You know, the little weight loss benefits of the celery just kind of got eaten away by the bowl of ice cream you just ate. And then people look at you weird like, oh, you just drink black coffee? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I like. I like black coffee. I always joke and say, you know, and people say, why do you have your coffee black? I don't have time to cook in the morning, all that pouring and stirring and nonsense. No. Pop in the Keurig, press a button, pull the cup out, it's done. I don't have time to then go back in and be a freaking mixologist at 6:30 in the morning. I just need coffee. Need to wake up. But then they look at you weird. Oh. Well, I just can't drink it black. Oh. Okay. So that means you really don't like the taste of coffee. Oh, no, I love coffee. I just have to have a box of Captain Crunch in it to be able to swallow it. Isn't that annoying? So they don't like it, really. and you are actually a coffee purist, right? Because you just drink it in its purest form. Literally, the beans got wet and hot and you drank them. That's what happened. So you are actually the superior coffee drinker. Because the flip side of that is, well, I love a good burgundy wine as long as it's mixed with half a cup of grape Kool-Aid. Then you don't really like the wine, do you? Because you can't tolerate it. Now, that's not to say that there are people out there who don't enjoy a cup of black coffee, but on occasion like a little fluffed up version of coffee. That's fine. You know, I like plain chocolate ice cream, but when they start throwing Oreos in it and hot fudge swirls and everything else, I am down for that too. But I appreciate the base that is behind this now very intricately designed drink or dessert. But it gets on my nerves because they treat you like you're nuts. They treat you like you're nuts when you go in there and you just want a black cup of coffee. They don't know how to handle that order because it doesn't look fancy going into the office with a black cup of coffee. Oh, I see you just have a regular lid. You don't have one of those dome lids with the whipped cream hanging out. No caramel dripping off the edge. Get over it. It's annoying. You know, don't frown on people because you actually are a poser and you don't like what you're drinking, but you have to feel so important that you said, oh, I'm no one until I've had my cup of coffee in the morning. Yeah, you're no one until you dumped a teaspoon of coffee, liquid coffee, over your milkshake. Yeah. Oh boy, big coffee drinker. Anyway, there's my rant about that. But next time you order a black cup of coffee at a Starbucks, in fact, go do it. Just see what in the hell happens. Watch people's minds blow up. It's amazing. It's awesome. They sell one product that is in their name, Starbucks coffee. And when you just ask for Starbucks coffee with nothing else in it, they don't know what to do. I'm glad you tuned in today. Do you even tune in anymore? I don't know whether you tune in anymore. I'm glad you clicked something and found us and that you joined. If you are on a platform that allows you to like, subscribe, or comment, I really encourage you to do so if you got anything out of this. Or if you hate it and you think I'm the meanest or most ridiculous person that ever existed and you think I'm nuts, share this nuttiness with your friends and family so they can agree with you. You know, I'll take views, whether it's hate, love, whatever. This is the internet. I don't care. But like, comment, and subscribe if you can. You can find us on almost every social media platform that exists out there. And you can get our podcast on almost every major podcast platform. We are also on YouTube for those who prefer to view us that way. This is Jake signing off for the Fat Gay Texan. Until next time, have a great day, America.